It's time to rank the best players in the NFL this 2023-2024 NFL season. We are going into week 13 and I've seen enough football to finally answer these questions. Just to clarify, the stats you see here are all updated up to week 11. Starting with the quarterback, we have seen a lot of poor quarterback play this season and a lot of our star quarterbacks struggle more than usual. So this is a lot tougher than usual, but first I want to give an honorable mention to Kirk Cousins because if he didn't get injured, he would easily be the best performing quarterback this year. But nonetheless, it's going to Patrick Mahomes yet again. Even though he is having his worst statistical season ever, he's still playing some damn good football. His ability to maneuver in and out of the pocket creates so many big play opportunities for this offense. It's a huge reason on why he remains number one. He has become virtually impossible to sack. In this season, he has only been sacked 13 times, which is ranked 32nd in the NFL, which tells you there are backups getting sacked more often than Mahomes. Yes, the Chiefs' pass protection is very good, but check out these plays from Mahomes where we see him somehow create something out of nothing.
Wasn't there what Mahomes wanted. Pass 2 or 1. As Mahomes.
Let me also add that he has a bottom 10 receiving core this season. Their number one wide receiver, Rashee Rice, only has 420 yards. Regardless, I see a big second half of the season from Mahomes. Moving to the running back, it's Christian McCaffrey. There is no debate here. I mean, he's first in rushing yards, first in missed tackles forced, first in touchdowns, and first in running back receiving yards. The 49ers offensive system always has high-performing running backs, but C-Mac takes it to a whole nother level. He's the most complete back. He can line up in the slot or outside of numbers and be utilized as a wide receiver catching passes and running routes. Can be used efficiently in zone and gap run schemes. He can fight for those extra yards on third and short. He has the potential to take any run to the crib. Power, speed, hands, pass blocking, footwork. When healthy, nobody does it better than him. Moving on to the wide receivers, I got 3 of them for you. AJ Brown, Tyreek Hill, and CeeDee Lamb. The Eagles getting AJ Brown has been the worst thing for every NFL team that isn't the Eagles. He is now that new guy to where Jalen Hurts says Brown's down there somewhere and just launches the ball. And AJ Brown 9 times out of 10 gets it, which is why he's currently first in contested catches outside of Tyreek Hill. He's the most dangerous deep threat to any team. And if he doesn't go deep, he's running his hitches and his slants, and he is not easy to bring down. At the point of contact, he will not go down if you do not wrap him up. Come prepared because he is a grown man, currently 5th in yak yards for that reason. Now, Tyreek Hill is the only guy that has challenged AJ Brown's greatness this season. The only 2 guys with 1,000 yards in 10 weeks and the most dangerous deep threat in the NFL. Tyreek Hill is still the fastest guy on the field and is still burning cornerbacks at an alarming rate. Even double teams aren't enough to stop him. Head coach Mike McDaniel is also creating new ways to get Hill the ball, with constant motion around the formation, running into his routes, or even hiding him in the backfield, doing reverse handoffs. Hill is always heavily involved in this dynamic offense and is still the most dangerous wide receiver in the NFL. Our last wide receiver will be CeeDee Lamb, who is showing all of his critics that if you give him the opportunities to perform, he will make you a biased fan the next week. In the 4 games where he had less than 100 yards receiving, he had 4 targets, 7 targets, 6 targets, and 5 targets. In the 4 games he's had 10 plus targets, he's averaging 160 yards per game. He actually just set the record recently for being the only player in NFL history to have 10 plus receptions and 150 yards in 3 straight games. He's balling this season and giving the work out to everyone who wants it. He leads all wideouts in receiving yards against man coverage and 2nd in receptions against man coverage. His route running is making top 10 plays lists. He silenced all of his critics. Lamb is finally playing up to his top 3 wide receiver potential this season. Let's go to the tight end, and we all know who it is, Travis Kelce. I love my guy TJ Hawkinson, but Kelce is just better. The connection between Mahomes and Kelce is stronger than the bond with Taylor Swift. They are reading each other's minds at this point. Kelce is not even running routes at this point in his career. If it's zone, he will just run to an open area like some backyard football shit. And in man coverage situations, he's cooking any linebacker and the majority of safeties in one-on-one coverage. Now we gotta move on because I'm glazing way too much. Now the big guys up front need some love as well, starting with the center, who also happens to be Kelce's brother and one of the sexiest men alive, Jason Kelce, the man responsible for the most successful play in the NFL, the brotherly shove, the tush push, whatever you want to call it. He is the driving force behind it, and the guy at the bottom of the pile. Aside from that, he's only allowed 6 pressures all year, which is ranked 3rd out of all centers, 1 sack all season. Just like last year, Kelce reigns supreme. Moving on to the tackles, we got Lions right tackle Penei Sewell. He has only allowed 7 pressures this season, which ranks number 1 out of all tackles. Throw in the fact that he also has 0 sacks allowed all season, and that's not even his greatest attribute. His run blocking this season has taken the Lions offense to a different level, which is a big reason why Gibbs and Montgomery are experiencing so much success this season. The Lions are a top 5 rushing team this season if we take away the rushing yards of Lamar Jackson in Baltimore and Josh Dobbs when he was in Arizona. If we just watch these clips, he's constantly setting the edge for his backs, creating massive holes and pulling out into open field and leading the way for his running back. The Lions' offensive line is a big reason why they are such a dangerous team in my opinion. My left tackle will be Christian Darrisaw. I never thought I would see the day that a Vikings offensive lineman will be on this list, but Darrisaw is playing like one of the best in the NFL. He has only allowed 17 pressures on the season, and when the Vikings do run the ball out to his side, they make the most out of it. Sadly, the running back has not produced many results from it, but it happens. With Darrisaw on the Vikings offensive line, it really gives Josh Dobbs a real chance to make plays for this team. Darrisaw has single-handedly neutralized pass rushers in nearly every game. Check out this play against the 49ers. On a pass protection level, this play by Darrisaw is just as impressive as Patrick Mahomes throwing a 20-yard no-look pass for a touchdown, and he was a major reason why Cousins was playing so good to start the season. Finally, we have the guards, and just like last year, I'm going with right guard Chris Lindstrom, a guy who consistently opens up running lanes and just knows how to maintain leverage and drive defenders off the line of scrimmage. While he does have the strength to efficiently create running lanes inside, he also has the agility and awareness to pull and lead the way on outside runs, which is why the Falcons are once again a top 5 rushing team this year. Lindstrom is always locked in and ready to go, and while he did struggle early in the season, he continues to improve as his numbers show that he has only allowed 5 pressures in the last 5 weeks. Our last guard will be Denver Broncos guard Quinn Meinerz. Many people are not familiar with his game, but let me tell you that he has been silently balling this season. And a big reason why this offense is not a complete disaster this season, a guy who has kept Russell Wilson protected with only 13 pressures this season and 0 sacks. But his run blocking is even better, getting to the second level and just launching guys out of the stadium. As we see in this play against Buffalo, straight up bullying opposing defensive tackles into the dirt has become a specialty of his, and just executing combination blocks on key third downs to extend drives. Quinn is not just a belly meme guy anymore, but a perennial all-pro player. Now, I respect all positions, so I'm going to give our fellow kickers some love, or should I say kicker, because I'm only talking about Younghoe Koo, the kicker who has 2 game-winning field goals this season, one against the Texans and a 51-yarder against the Buccaneers. The Falcons now tote him as the most clutch kicker in the league. Aside from that, he has been extremely accurate, only missing 1 field goal this season and 1 extra point. How could you not love Younghoe Koo? If you enjoyed the video, subscribe because I will be releasing a video on the top defensive players this season as well. Till next time, Sports Nerd Marty is out.